Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Push with Nick and KP. We are back once again to bring you a weekly recap of this week's Monday Night Raw, which took place on December 22nd in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We kick off the show with Braun and Bronson of the Vision, who are joined by Paul Heyman walking into the arena. Awaiting is the recently revealed masked man, Austin Theory, who says he wants to help take an opportunity just like the Vision takes what they want and fight on behalf of the Vision. Heyman simply responds with, "Interesting." A bit more on that later. Getting into our first match of the evening, we have Rhea Ripley going up against half of the women's tag team champions, Asuka, of course, being accompanied by Kairi Sane. Before we see this match take place, we do see Rhea in the back ask Io to stay back as she has this Kabuki Warriors problem under control on her own. Both women are putting in match work in this match here, taking some pretty brutal looking bumps, and both Asuka and Rhea draw blood from one another. Just more proof of how kind of brutal this match was. Kairi definitely plays dividends for Asuka here, and eventually, despite being told otherwise, Io does show up to try to help null Asuka's advantage, but that of course does backfire as Rhea gets distracted and Asuka rolls up Rhea for the win. I can't imagine Rio and Io will take this lightly, but we'll see what happens just 2 weeks out from Rio getting their shot with the Kabuki Warriors for those women's tag team titles. We then get a promo from the man herself, Becky Lynch, who claims that Maxine Dupree is not the legitimate IC champion, and that, of course, is Becky, the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Becky says she has talked to the bigwigs over at Netflix, and she was told that she needed to take matters into her own hands. Maxine then joins the man. Maxine says, while she may be the GOAT and she's just a rookie, it's just a friendly reminder that Maxine has beat Becky Lynch not once, not twice, but 3 times. Maxine, playing that ultimate babyface role, says she is our IC champion, but Becky can have her rematch anytime and any place. Maxine then goes on to call Becky that looks like a wrestler that has her best years behind her. Becky then sucker punches Maxine and parades around the ring with that IC title. Becky goes back for one more shot on Maxine, but Dupree locks in an ankle lock and forces Becky to tap before she releases said hold. So, our women's IC champion stands tall here while Becky retreats. So it was nice to see Becky back. Unfortunately, it kind of seems like more of the same. Difficult spot there between Becky and Maxine. Obviously, you want Becky to look strong, but obviously need to continue to make Maxine look strong as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they book that one going forward. We then see Stephanie Vaquer in the back with Adam Pearce. Adam asks Vaquer how we can resolve this Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez problem. Vaquer simply responds with, "There isn't a problem, I'll take them both." So, just like that, your women's world champion Stephanie Vaquer will take on both Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez in a triple threat match for that title next week on Raw. And speaking of championship matches, we see a pretty intense hype package from the Usos, fresh off their win against the New Day just last week, ready to go after those tag team gold once again, and they'll get a shot to do just that against Dragon Lee and AJ Styles for those World Tag Team Championship also next week on Raw. In our next match, we see Rio in his first career one-on-one match with Bravo and El Grande Americano taking on Javon Evans from NXT. El Grande Americano and Bravo do their best to help Rio get that advantage, but it's all for naught. Javon Evans cannot be stopped and gets yet another win after an OG cutter. I think it's pretty impressive to me how over Javon is. I heard the bouncy bit from the crowd. And speaking of which, you hear Corey and Cole on commentary hit on this a few times during the match where Javon is being labeled as a free agent now. So make of that what you will. I'm sure we'll see an official decision and or call up here pretty soon, which, absolutely makes sense. Javon is absolutely killing it. I would argue maybe there are a couple other guys on the NXT roster that deserve it sooner. But regardless, it is clear that Javon is over on the main roster, so can't really fault that decision either. We then see a very different looking Nikki Bella emerge from the crowd, announcing that she is a veteran in the business and that next week she's going to take that title from Vaquer. And yes, she does realize that Vaquer is a big deal in the ring, but that she is a global superstar in all aspects of life. So a new look here for Nikki Bella, kind of interesting angle she's playing here, the veteran that deserves more respect. Could argue that's not the case given her past performances, but regardless, we'll see if this new look kind of translates into better success in the ring. And of course, we get that triple threat match next week, so we will not have to wait long to find out. Getting into the second half of Raw, we see Bayley with Lyra Valkyria taking on Roxanne Perez and accompanied by Liv Morgan of the Judgment Day. Roxanne works on Bayley's knee for a good portion of this match, and Raquel shows up about 2/3 the way through the match, but Lyra quickly takes her out, but then Liv takes out Lyra. Raquel finally gets back up as Liv tries to distract the ref. In a very interesting turn of events here, Raquel and Liv end up arguing until Lyra then takes out both Liv and Raquel with the crossbody. Lyra then, in an attempt to get Bayley psyched up, asks her, "Where is my Grand Slam champion?" slaps Bayley on the face, and Bayley goes back to work and then lands an elbow drop on Roxanne Perez to get the win. So, tons going on in this match here. Business as usual for Bayley and Lyra, who should be an absolute force and dangerous with that unhinged version of Bayley available at the flick of a wrist, or should I say a slap of the face. We then see the Judgment Day in shambles in the ring after nursing Roxy's loss to Bayley, so perhaps some issues once again with the Judgment Day. You never know how long those are going to last. This is further made apparent as shortly after the match we see Liv, Roxy, and Raquel in the back, clearly not taking that loss well, arguing with one another. Ben and Dom are trying to understand the situation at hand, and Raquel ends up walking away from the situation entirely as she says she has a championship match to get ready for as well, that of course being next week. So have to keep an eye on the Judgment Day. I think we've certainly seen tons of issues with the Judgment Day over time, but we'll have to see if this one results into any actual actions being taken or if next week we forget it ever happened per usual. We then see the man that beat John Cena in his last match ever, the Ring General Gunther, make his way to the ring to a yet another chorus of boos. Just like last week, he soaks in the boos as if it's his job to do so. After what feels like 5 minutes of boos, his message is simple. You shouldn't be mad at me. You should be mad at the guy who tapped out like a little bitch. So more of the same there, and honestly, I have no issues with it. I think eventually you are going to have to do something a little different, but for now, tap while the iron's hot, no problem with me. Then enters CM Punk, who comes face-to-face with Gunther. He's on his way to the main event match, while Gunther is on his way out. He couldn't be phased in the slightest as Gunther exits the ring. On his way out of the ring and arena, Gunther then runs into both Mysterio, who is coming to the ring for his main event match, and AJ Styles in the back, who both, neither are thrilled with the peacocking Gunther continues to do, but once again, Gunther could not care less. We then get into our main event, which sees CM Punk and Rey Mysterio going up against Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. Earlier in the night, we see Bronson Reed tell Theory to watch and follow his lead, but Theory quickly retorts and says, "I'm not your kid, and instead I'll start the match and you can take notes." So, in essence, this to me feels like a tryout of sorts for Theory and the Vision. Bronson and Theory controlled 2/3 of the match, but it felt like even more. Anytime Punk and Rey gained any momentum, it felt like it was shut down just as quickly as it was built up. Graves hit on what felt different about Theory, claiming that he used to enjoy antagonizing the crowd, but that this version felt different and more focused, and working quite nicely with Bronson Reed of the Vision for how little time they have together. The end sees Theory get the win over Mysterio, hitting that stomp that has been bringing him quite a bit of success over the last month or so. Breaker then comes in after the match to try to get his hands on Punk, and once again it does end with Breaker hitting that spear and standing tall to end Monday Night Raw. And I don't know about you all, but I would call that a pretty successful tryout for Mr. Theory. Very interested to see what's next for the Vision in Theory, a group that contains Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory, all of course being led by the Oracle himself, Paul Heyman. For me, I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find a team that could break that up on a week to week basis at least. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what actually comes of this. But I think once again, all things appear to be coming up Vision. But yeah, overall, I feel like this was a pretty decent show of Monday Night Raw, albeit a bit shorter. I think this was another pre-taped version. I think they recorded both Raw and SmackDown last Friday, and so I think just a shorter show. So that's going to affect the show, I think, a bit. But I think overall, I'd probably give this show a 6.5 out of 10. What we got was decent, but obviously did feel a bit gypped off for that Monday Night Raw experience. Highlights being more development in the women's tag division. And the Vision in whole, continue to tell great stories. The match of the night for me has to be Rhea and Asuka, but the main event was pretty good as well. Becky Lynch and Gunther continuing to provide heat in all the best ways, and that main event, like I said, was pretty decent. So I'm hopeful that they will become the next member of the Vision, but do find it interesting that he's still using that curb stomp. So possibly there's more to that. But with that Raw recap in the books, what did you think of Monday Night Raw? Did you feel a bit gypped as well due to the shorter time period we had, or what was your highlights of the evening? What did you dislike? Let us know in the comments below. As always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as that helps us out tremendously. But until next time, this has been The Push with Nick and KP. We'll see you soon. Take care.